Hi friends, today I want to share with you an excerpt from a great book called The Good Fight by Dr. Les and Leslie Parrott. And it talks about different myths surrounding anger. One myth is, I can't help myself. Anger isn't something a person can control. And here's what they have to say about that. You can't always control the situation you're in or how it makes you feel, but you can control how you express your anger, and you can express your anger without unleashing an unbridled tirade. Even if someone is pushing your buttons, you always have a choice about how to respond. Most of us are living proof that we can control our anger. When we're angry with someone who could hurt us in some way, say a supervisor or an employer who could fire us, we generally control our anger to protect our interests. But when we're angry with someone without the power to damage us, we often forego control and blow up. Clearly, controlling our anger is a choice. And oftentimes, angry expressions and blow-ups happen in places where we feel safe. Maybe it happens with our children, maybe it happens with our spouse or our family members who are going to continue to be our family members regardless. And so we feel safe enough to do that. However, it's important that we acknowledge if we would not do that anywhere else, then we're giving ourselves permission in that space to do it. And maybe you find yourself angry sometimes. Maybe you find yourself behaving in ways that are out of character for you. I would suggest that if you are that level of angry, that you feel you cannot control your emotions, then likely you've experienced what we call a trigger. And a trigger is something that makes us feel threatened. A lot of times it goes back to something that has happened in our past. The amount of anger that we feel might be related to something we previously experienced, and this scenario reminds us enough of that experience that it draws up all of the emotion that we have, not just for what's happening currently, but for what has happened in the past. And what happens is, in our bodies, they shift into a different mode of operation. We shift from the parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we all breathe and enjoy and we feel relaxed, into the sympathetic nervous system. You can remember that because it's sympathizing with what's going on, with your stressor. And so what happens is that the amygdala, the survival brain, goes into effect and starts taking over. And so a lot of times in this space, we start to fight, flight, or freeze. If you find yourself behaving in one of these ways, maybe fighting can be yelling, it can be hitting, slamming things, throwing things. Flight could be leaving. It could be not continuing the conversation, just checking out. And freezing could be not even being able to speak, just frozen, unable to move. Even if you will yourself to, you cannot move. You have probably been triggered. And that is something that a therapist can help you find coping skills to deal with those triggers. So my encouragement is, if you find yourself continuously behaving in ways that are not in character for you, but you're not knowing how to stop them, then reach out to a therapist who can help give you skills for that.